What's good, everybody? Got myself a cup of Joe, and I want to go over this book review. It's by 3D Total, and it's one of my first books I ever got when it comes to understanding Photoshop and just digital art. From a traditional background, uh, doing digital stuff is really difficult for me at the time. Still is kind of, but not as much as it used to be. But I place this coffee right over here. Um, yeah, I got this book, Beauty Total. And if you guys are new here, my name is Get Good Millhouse, and I do book reviews. I talk about little tidbits here and there about self improvement and just like words of encouragement for anyone who's trying to get better. If you guys are new to the channel, give it a like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. Tell me what you guys think about the books I review. I'm not sure about the price tag on this book. It comes in like a nice little plastic casing, which I find very nice. This book is for $50. I didn't buy this book. This is more of a book a friend let me use since they were done with the whole digital art phase in their life and they moved on to 3D. So I'm really gracious and really grateful for this gift. So I'm just gonna remove it from the case. And we're gonna start this video. Just gonna flip through it and just talk about my experience with this book. First off, I would recommend this book if you're totally new to digital painting. From start to finish, even with the installing Photoshop and learning cool little tidbits of how illustrators and painters would get the results that they have it all in this book. It's lots of great tips on here. It's a pretty short read, but since it's one of those tutorial based like books where you're just kind of reading through step by step, which I really love. I really enjoy this stuff. I really enjoy how this book laid out everything. Try to make sure I get this straight. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's like straight enough. But yeah, this was an amazing book for me at the time. I remembered I took this book with me when I was on my trip to Nigeria, spending time with family, and I couldn't do anything about it. But the moment I got back, I came back with the information and I copied down a lot of these things here, especially like how to set up Photoshop and from start to finish to make sure that it runs properly. And they just give you tons and tons and tons of information here when you start. So this is totally a book for beginners. Like I'm talking about, like if you're a total noob when it comes to digital painting, or even having your computer for the first time and you really want to jump into Photoshop, you got yourself a tablet and stuff, they laid it out for you, and I really appreciate it. They even talk about brushes and like how they work and the functions of brushes. Like you can learn how to make your own brushes through this book. They even talk about the color wheel. They even talk about like basic color theory, which is also really nice. Sadly enough, I don't really refer back to this. I have like my own color wheel chart on the side of my wall. So whenever I do digital art and I'm thinking about colors, I just slightly turn my head to the right and I have my color wheel there. I think that's a tip that I don't think a lot of people talk about. If you are trying to improve in your colors, get yourself a color wheel. You go down to Michael's or any type of arts and crafts store, look for a color wheel, something that has it all laid out where you get to like have little arrows pointing to like your complementary, your tri-colors and stuff like that. And the more you go into it, the better. So when you're studying up on colors and stuff like that, you can always refer back to your color wheel that you physically have instead of trying to do it by memory or trying to dictate from the computer itself. There are other apps that can help you with complementary colors and tones and stuff, but just having a color wheel in general in your own homestead like helps so much. Then even learn about composition. This is the first time I actually learned about the golden ratio right here, and how like when you're looking at certain images, how your eye will travel around and it just goes in this spiral. Makes a lot of sense. I use it every now and then, but it's like rare. They even show you how to set up your own perspective grids. Again, an absolute great book for beginners. Um, I don't make my grids like this anymore because there's an easier way of doing it, and I'm not sure if I posted that video yet. If I did, I will have it up in the top as a card. But I am making a video on how you can create your own perspective grids and how you can use them and apply them. If you're trying to get a better understanding of perspective and how to create these illustrations and stuff. Oh, got like an overseas from GameStop. I don't even know. It's how you know how old it is. It's like all faded. Oh, I guess I read this book back in was it not 2003? Damn, how far ago was it? Oh, it's 2017. This is 2017 because that was the time when I bought the Berserk game. Again, just step by step examples on how someone can get to point A to point B with a simple drawing or a sketch, and how I used to think that people will paint their textures by hand, not knowing that it was photo bashed, or how they use what's it called, shapes, using custom shapes and just blending it into their illustrations. That makes like the biggest impact. It's so subtle, but it's like really nice when you have it down. Even on the patterns of this woman's drapery, you just get a pattern here from the custom shapes brush and just add it on there. And then taking some more real life references and adding it to their illustration as well, to their painting, to correct myself. This book is a short read, but it's actually pretty lengthy when it comes to information. So I wouldn't say that you'd be able to speed read this book in a day. Like, yeah, you could read it all, but you're not going to be learning anything from it unless you're doing something with it. And when you're trying to apply this stuff to your work, you're going to have to go back at it like a couple of times before you move on to the next part or the next segment. But I feel like at a certain point when you're basically like finished with certain areas of the book, it's always nice to like come back and brush up on it, just to just have it like freshen in your mind, or just to solidify the information that you just went through. When I first started digital painting, I was nowhere near this level because my drawing skills weren't the best, and I not my idea, but like my damn, I cannot talk. I would guess my mileage. That's the only word that's popping in my head. When it comes to art itself, learning how to render and stuff like that, all that stuff was lacking. But if you just need to learn how to use digital softwares and programs and try to get certain effects down, this is the go-to book. And this is where I started learning more about perspective and how it can be applied. Composition is a big thing. Composition is what in illustrations is what gives your pieces or your art, whatever you're trying to draw or illustrate, depth. You have your foreground, middle ground, and then background. And here, another example, you have your foreground, midground, background, and this is still part of the background, but it's also showing you your visual points of view where you'll be looking to, like first, second, third, or like when you first glance at it, this will probably be the first thing you'll see. But this is basically the direction where you're gonna read everything. They give you little projects within the book as well. I could have swore I think I saw this in a tutorial. Something very similar to this. I'm trying to remember who the artist is. And making use of silhouettes and just adding hints and stuff, you're just making an illusion of that this is mechanical or this is something. That was a good lesson that I learned out of this. It's not everything has to be drawn to perfection. You can just hint at it. And for a lot of you purists out there that thinks that photo bashing or just taking a photo and altering it up a little bit to make it fit into a scene is cheating, you gotta think about it like this. Do you have all the time in the world to draw this completely, to draw this completely, to draw this completely? You gotta think about your time frame here. I think time is a very important thing to talk about when it comes to illustrating things. You can illustrate the background, you can illustrate the characters and stuff like that, but it's a lot of things that will eat up time. Like you're looking at something that could probably take you 15 to 20 hours versus something that'll take you 40 hours. So think about that wisely before you start thinking that, like, oh, copy and pasting stuff or using these textures or using any of these Photoshop cheat codes is more of a cheat. See it as more of a, I'm trying to sell an idea here. I'm trying to get something done now and present it to somebody. It's so beautiful. Let me flip this. So great. I don't know if the shine is too bright, but it's so beautiful. Just reading this book alone just gets me so pumped up and inspired to try out some of these techniques that I totally haven't gone back to. I think that's one of the biggest issues of like having an insane, not like an insane library. I don't think I have like an insane library of books, but I think it's one of the problems of having like a lot of books for references that you just kind of forget the gold. But I was going through my shelf and I'm just like, you know what? I need to do a book review on something that's not as overly popular or something that's, you know, has not been said before. And I saw this book and I'm like, damn, I had a lot of good memories with this book. It debunked a lot of things that I had thought in my head, that when it comes to illustrating and using Photoshop and things I thought that was taking an easy way out and cheating essentially, just kind of like just debunk that. I just gotta go over it again because it's so nice that it's showing you projects like this, and they are even talking about the entire process, like from grayscale to color and like how they got to point A to point B's. I'm finding more bookmarks everywhere. Probably just showing like this is my favorite chapter. This is like my favorite parts of the book. This is also a really cool one as well, where they essentially photo bash with using photographs. I remember like reading this in Nigeria, like, oh, I see you, okay, all right, that's how it's done. Oh, okay. And I think this is when I started to kind of take myself out of animation for a bit, because I felt like my drawing skills wasn't up to par, and I just need to like learn how to make cool shit first, how to draw better and stuff like that. And I just kind of fell into the world of concept art. The overall, like, the main goal was just draw better. Oh man, this is a really cool one too. This is Noah Bradley. He has this video. I seen the tutorial for this. This is on YouTube right now. I will try to find a video and try to link it in the descriptions or something like that. But this is actually in a YouTube video. I don't think he really explains in depth on what he did, but in the like just having a YouTube video and this like book here just kind of complements each other. If this is what you're aiming for, if this is a type of art that you like to create. Me, I'm more of a, I like Studio Trigger and other animations, like, you know, drawing styles. I like how extreme they push their forms and stuff. And I like how they do some of their like key shots of having a character look dynamic and awesome and like badass. So I kind of like took myself out of the whole painterly thing, but I still like the idea of using painterly styles with more of a like animated background, or like more of like an animated like what animated characters in a way, you know. It's hard. I'm trying to like mix styles and stuff like that and just seeing what works and what doesn't work. Another beautiful painting here. So nice. I love it. And this is just one of those books that gets you really pumped. Okay, so this is a chapter here. Quick tips here. Quick tips. This is the best part of the book for me. In my opinion, this was the best part of the book because they tell you how they'll have their approach on making clouds, water, trees, underwater, grass, stars, twists. Damn near so many things. Even perspective grids, lasers, explosions, glow. This is all the like the cherry on top of the illustration. When you're done and you just want to add in that like special polish to it, you already have it here. It is so great. I love it. And see, for the clouds, it's not even that long of a chapter. You think that, oh my god, okay, so there's gonna be a chapter for clouds or whatever. No, it's just a single page, so you can just always come back to a certain part. Like, okay, I want to start doing more environment stuff. How would I get my clouds to look right? All right, bam, you got this page right here. Okay, I'm doing water. Bam, you got water right here as a page. Trees, bushes, even grass. Man, I see. Got more bookmarks here. I just bookmarked the crap out of this book because there's so many things in this book that I wanted to like always turn back and read, turn back and read, turn back and read. Always pursue knowledge, man. I watch a lot of interviews of people, either celebrities or not in a sense like I love celebrities. I'm not like the type of person that like, oh yeah, this is my favorite person. I gotta watch them. But I'll like watch celebrities, entrepreneurs, artists in my field, just like my favorite artists and stuff like that. And 9 times out of 10, they always would mention that try if you're learning, if you're trying to achieve something, always go with the mindset of a student. You could have been graduated with school, doesn't matter. Keep that mind of a student, always looking for knowledge, always trying to get answers to questions. Be open for suggestion, open to receive knowledge. Even if it's something that you might not 100% agree with, just think about it with an open mind. Don't try to close your off. No, don't try to close your mind off from everything. You know what? Since I'm so much better than I was all these years ago, I am really thinking about like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna like reread this book and try to apply some of these methods to my own stuff. Like I know a lot of these tricks here.